A contractor is charged with scamming Michigan's unemployment agency from the inside. 39-year-old Brandy Hawkins of Detroit could face 20 years behind bars for allegedly stealing more than $2 million from the agency while the state scrambled to pay benefits during the pandemic. I spoke to U.S. Attorney Matthew Schneider about the charges.
The allegations are essentially that she was entrusted as an employee of the state of Michigan, somebody who was entrusted with the state's money. And instead of making sure that that money went into the hands of the people who really needed it, people who were suffering because of unemployment and were eligible for money to get by, that money was diverted. And instead it went into the hands of people that didn't need that. And that's what we're tracking down right now.
And not just the hands of other people who didn't need it, but her hands too, it sounds like.
Well, that's what it looks like to us. The investigation is ongoing, but it looks like we're talking about a large amount of money, over $2 million in a very short period of time, that was supposed to go to people who deserved it, people who were unemployed because of the pandemic. And instead, it went into the hands of who knows. Right now, we're trying to figure that out, but we know that it's not where it's supposed to be.
And this woman, she actually worked for the unemployment agency, right? Was a contractor with them, and so used her access to access this for herself.
That's correct. I mean, the state of Michigan gives a limited amount of access to people, and you have to trust someone when you give access to the people's money, the taxpayers' money. And so when somebody abuses that trust, and they take the money and they divert it for purposes that are improper, and it's really an immoral issue, and it's a criminal issue, and that's why we're very thankful that our state and local and federal partners are all working so closely together to track these cases.
So many people, as you mentioned, have been really hurting, and the system was so overwhelmed. It's taken a really long time for people who really need this money to get it. So to hear that somebody who, had the opportunity to make sure people got this in the right way would take it in this way is really painful.
It's painful, but I can tell you also that unfortunately, we see this all across the country. Criminals will use any excuse they can to enrich themselves. And whether that is even a pandemic, they will do that. And so we're seeing cases across the country of fake cures that are being offered, fake cures for the coronavirus. People are scamming people by calling up and saying, I've got a stimulus check for you. Give me your bank account number so I can funnel it in there. We're seeing people even selling masks that are inappropriate, that don't work very well. So we're seeing all kinds of things, and it's all based on people's greed. And unfortunately, that is the way criminals operate.
All right, Matthew Schneider, U.S. Attorney, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Stay safe.